Okay, so I missed out on a lot in the last 2 decades as far as children's entertainment because one, I don't have kids, and two, I don't watch kids shows. Things have gotten weird. This is brought to us by them. This is a LGBTQ. I think you should know. If you don't know how I feel about the LGBTQ, not a fan. As a group, I'm not a fan. I don't mind the individual letters, but combined together, I feel like that is a lot of conflation that really doesn't need to be together. And right now, I'm about to read this article about how this binary woman created the queerest cartoon on television. Rebecca Sugar is making history for LGBTQ plus representation in all ages programming with Steven Universe. Now, Steven Universe is a show that I never watched. Like I said, I don't watch children cartoons. Last children cartoon I was really into was Thundercats, and this was forever ago. So, no, I like the X-Men. Actually, I like Batman animated series. Okay, I'll put it to you like this. It's not that I don't watch cartoons. It's that I don't watch, kitty, like seemingly kitty cartoons. And that's definitely what Steven Universe is. So I never got into it. I never watched it. But I used to date this girl who was the hugest fan. And that's why I used to date her, because she was completely off her meat rack. And this show, I really feel like, played a part in it, because like she liked this show so much that her avatar, one of her online handles, was Amethyst, which is a character in the show that I've come to find out. But after looking into this show and reading up on this show, parents, do not let your kids watch this. This is ridiculous. Okay, so I want to get into this article a little bit, and that's the creator. That's Rebecca Sugar, who Steven oddly looks a lot alike. Rebecca Sugar. Oh my goodness, I can barely say the name. Rebecca Sugar is a modern day icon. Yeah, you're using that term very loosely. When she created Steven Universe, she was the first woman to have her own show at Cartoon Network. Sugar recently came out as non-binary, but still uses she/her pronouns. And her show is equally historic. I thought that word was toxic for a second. It features a diverse cast of queer women, non-binary characters, and queer relationships. There's no way in hell I would let my child watch this. Steven Universe focuses on a young half-human, half-alien boy named Steven and the Crystal Gems who raise him while protecting Earth from Homeworld, the planet where a race of sentient beings called Gems intend to colonize the universe. Wow, there's so many buzzwords. All of these gems are non-binary women on the show. Many of them are in romantic relationships together. Two of them, Ruby and Sapphire, love each other so much that they are almost always fused together into one gem named Garnet. They recently unfused, and in a revolutionary set of episodes, the two got married in the first same-sex wedding in a kid's cartoon. Jesus Christ, this is insanity. In short, the show has radically changed paradigms for who and what children's TV programming can represent, and it has vastly broadened LGBTQ plus representation on TV. No matter how you slice it, it's Sugar's ongoing mission to explore the frontiers of queer identity in her work, and several upcoming episodes and a recently announced movie means you missed an S, because this is a blog. This isn't like any real publication. This is a this has a point. This is a propaganda outlet as far as I'm concerned. Means she'll continue to push forward towards those frontiers for a long time to come. We spoke with Sugar about coming out as non-binary, how her own life and experiences influenced her groundbreaking show, working to make space for gender-expansive kids and all ages programming, and what's next for Steven Universe. Okay, so right before we get into their little interview part, there's something I want to show you. Okay, so there's a YouTuber named ER Senpai, and he did a video. You're looking at it right now, Steven Rapeyverse, or How I Learned to Stop Worrying and Love to Fuse. Now, this guy right here, he gets accused of being a Nazi and like a racist and all the terrible things. I've been watching his channel for a while now, and I just find him hilarious. I think he's really, really funny. But there's a part in this video that I really want to go in on. So check this out.
Meanwhile, Rebecca Sugar herself has admitted quite pridefully that Steven Universe was intended to tear down and play with the semiotics of gender in cartoons for children. Hey, a little trivia for you. Did you know that gender is a social sciences term from 1955, coined by a sexologist named John Money?
I did not.
Gender is defined as the state of being male or female, typically used with reference to social and cultural differences rather than biological ones. In layman's terms, gender is not your biological sex, but what you mentally think is your sex. Now, some of you might be thinking that the brain is biological, and so there literally couldn't be any separation of your mental state from your biology. To put it another way, there'd be no meaningful separation between the terms gender and sex. But John Money thought differently. He thought if, say, a boy were socialized enough to be a girl, that boy could fundamentally be a girl. That is to say, he thought there were no innate differences between males and females. Contrary to the entire field of biology now, John Money was unable to get anybody to take his gender pet project seriously until a boy by the name of David Reimer came along. Upon birth, David lost his willy during the penile mutilation ritual, and so Money found the perfect opportunity to swoop in and perform a bout of human experimentation. He had the infant boy's testicles lopped off, replaced it all with an artificial vagina, and then had the parents raise David to be a girl while undergoing hormone treatments. Furthermore, he had David, as a young child, imitate sex acts with his twin brother to normalize David as a bottom. Money even had the brothers undress and engage in genital inspections, which he took a photograph of on at least one occasion. Money described the experiments as successful, though David never ended up identifying as a woman and described his visits with Money as traumatic. But whatever, close enough. Except that in adulthood, David's brother killed himself by ODing on antidepressants, and David later shot himself in the head with a sawed-off shotgun.
You're always going to see people that are going to say, well, the Dave Reimer case could have been successful. I'm living proof, and if you're not going to take my word as gospel, because I have lived through it, who else are you going to listen to? Who else is there? I've lived through it. Is it going to take somebody to wind up killing themselves, shooting themselves in the head for people to listen?
To this day, there isn't a single shred of evidence supporting the existence of gender in humans or the rest of the animal kingdom for that matter. So
hold on, let me finish.
Remember, kids, when you use the term gender, you're using the unproven terminology of a mad scientist who happily committed human experimentation, tortured a pair of twin boys, and drove them both to suicide, and got away with it.
So, yeah, that's why I don't believe in the term gender. That's why, if you check out the videos, I do not, I go out of my way to say biological sex, because that's insanity. And I'm pretty sure that what he ripped, I'm pretty sure he ripped that quote from her from this article. So let's get into her little interview and discuss this, because this has been poisoned. This has poisoned, I don't know how many kids, into this idea that whatever it is you think you are, that's what you are. And I'm sorry, that's not reality. And now we have just an overabundance of people living in their own little world, in their own little sense of reality. And then when reality hits them, they get upset, they get angry, and they want to lash out. When in all reality, no, you've been fed a ton of bad information over the past, however many years you've been alive, really. And it's just not, it doesn't work that way. But you have people such as Miss Sugar here who are intent on pushing these ideas onto children, and that is where I have the problem. Okay? If you're an adult, Miss Sugar, you're an adult. Whatever you so decide to do, fine, fantastic. But you coming out and trying to make even more of you is insane. If you want to make more of you, have kids yourself. But do not sit here and create this entire, and it's not just her. It's clearly not just her, because she's been empowered by Cartoon Network and that executive and all these other things. And clearly, parents are just not paying attention. Parents are at work, so they can't watch what their kids are watching. And then we sit here and wonder, oh man, how did these people end up so messed up? It's because they've been fed just tons of propaganda that's about absolutely nothing except for, confusing the heck out of them over something that really isn't that confusing. You got a twig and two berries, you're a guy. If you have a clamshell, you're a chick. Plain and simple. But this is what happens when you just allow people to go nuts. So let's get into this article, into this interview portion. One of the main things people love about Steven Universe is that we get to see people who look at and identify like us for the first time in all ages media. Was that a goal you had when creating the series? Now, you hear that question primarily because look, act, and identify like us. For who? Outside of the sexual orientation, for who? Because I've seen black, white, brown, blue characters in all forms of media throughout my entire life. So my goal when I created the show was just to be very honest. It was always supposed to be based on my relationship with my brother. I didn't have a huge circle of friends at school. I was really introverted, and he was always there to be my best friend when I came home. And I didn't realize until later that having someone who really understood me made a world of difference in my life. And a lot of that had to do with maybe not feeling understood by anyone else. So many of my married LGBTQ plus friends told me they have sobbed after Steven Universe's recent proposal and wedding episodes. They said that these were hugely important moments in their lives. Okay, if they're adults that are married, why are they watching this show? But they never thought they'd see that reflected in a show like this. What do you want to say to... what I want to say to them is usually Will and Grace, I guess. Wasn't there a marriage on Will and Grace? What are you talking about? If your friends are married, right? These questions are complete BS. Because if your friends are married, they're adults. Steven Universe isn't for them. So, you deserve it. You deserved 20 years ago. You deserved it 20 years ago. My God, get an editor. You deserve it now. You deserve it 20 years from now. There should be hundreds of these. Why? You know what? In the adult realm, by all means. But in the children's realm, no. No, this is what happened when you let TV raise your kids, guys. Were you scared to pitch this wedding idea, or was Cartoon Network on board pretty fast? Oh, I was pitching the idea back in 2016. It's been a very long road. It really goes all the way back to 2011 when we started the show. So this show's been on for 9 years? 8 years? Jesus. In 2014, when we were pitching the show Jailbreak, the more material I would pitch about Ruby and Sapphire and their romantic relationship, the more visible the ceiling of what we could do became. And it really made me realize how critical it was to have LGBTQIA, oh my God, even more letters, characters in G-rated media. Oh my God, no. Who's making these choices? Fire everybody at Cartoon Network. I began to realize how quiet I had been about my own story in my own life because I had internalized this idea that there was something adult about these stories. There is. The inherent sexual orientation portion of it is inherently adult. And there isn't. No, there is. You're wrong. These themes were a part of my childhood, and they were a part of the childhoods of many people on my staff. There's nothing more adult about Ruby and Sapphire than any other couple on the show. So I became very driven to make sure that we could tell the most wholesome love story you could ever see on TV. Yeah, but that's the thing. It's not a wholesome love story. What has fan reaction been like? I was overjoyed. It was fascinating to see from the proposal to the wedding itself. Just every moment with everyone watching in real time going, oh, it went there. It went here, but it can't go there. Then it does. Oh, it went here, but it can't go there. And then it does. Wait, oh my God. This writer. It was like reliving in rapid fire succession years and years of the challenge to do this story, seeing it all finally tumble out into the world. I don't know if I've ever been over how wonderful it feels that we got to this moment in time. How will this new commitment and relationship affect Ruby, Sapphire, and Gar? I don't give a crap, because this is just a trash television show. Steven Universe is one of the first shows I've seen with non-binary characters, and you recently came out as a non-binary woman. Did you include these characters as a way of expressing yourself, or did the show help you figure these things out about yourself? Both. I didn't necessarily have the language for a lot of my own feelings early on, but even when I was young, I'd get criticism from friends and family members who couldn't tell if my drawings were supposed to be boys or girls, and I used to worry about it. But that's the thing. I don't think people should have to worry about it. Nah, you do. I do. I mean, Miss Sugar, I would love to be respectful, but the problem is that you're basically poison. You are an agent of chaos, and I think that this is just utterly trash what you've been doing. And the fact that parents haven't, because here's the thing, we don't want to be our parents, right? So these parents these days don't want to be their parents from, I guess, like 20 years ago. But even in their parents didn't want to be their parents, right? So if you say, oh no, by all means, I want to be all inclusive and all this other stuff. And guess what? You ruined your kid. So, good on you. But this is ridiculous. But I don't think I'm excited that it's new anymore. I'm just frustrated that it didn't exist before. It shouldn't have been innovative to just say, let's make this non-binary character that everyone thinks is great. This shouldn't be the first time you see that. No, it should. No, you're right. It shouldn't be the first time. And there's never should have been a time. Non-binary. Like, bruh, like, what does that even mean? Oh, I don't identify. Who cares what you identify as? You got a clam between your legs? Boom, done. I believe that, especially in kids' entertainment, we should really be working hard to create a space for gender-expansive kids. Oh my God, you are so dangerous. You need to be in jail. I mean, I hate to toss out such a position, but yeah, you need to be in jail. Because this is disgusting. It's not your role, okay? It's not your place to guide anyone's child that is not yours. Plain and simple. You're like, oh, I want all these kids to be as weird as because it is weird. As weird as I am. And it's like, no. See, this is what happens when you don't have fathers in the home, America. My goodness. Looking back, I remember the specific harm I felt as a child when I loved cartoons that were not for me. I loved cartoons for boys, and I knew that it was wrong. I would write in my diary, I'm so sorry that I'm watching SWAT Cats, because I felt bad about it. That's on you. That's some internalized stuff that you got going on. Don't sit there and blame society. It wasn't made for your demographic. I'll put it to you like this, okay? Honest story. I wear secret deodorant. I know it's made for women, but I like it. It keeps me fresh. I don't stink. And that's the main point, So thusly, it's fine. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh my goodness, I need to make a cartoon for all guys to want to wear secret deodorant. Like, no. No. Oh my goodness, these kids are not your kids, and you're sitting here just ruining it for a paycheck. You're awful. You are an awful person, Rebecca Sugar. It's just a lot of stress that shouldn't exist. No, you shouldn't exist. I mean, okay, that's a little rude because everybody is entitled to their existence. But what I mean is that you should not exist in your current capacity, creating a show that is just utterly damaging and toxic. And I hate using that term toxic, but that's exactly what this is. And there should be a home, not just for kids who can relate to it, but also for kids who should learn how to be allies for those kids. They already allies. They're like, yo, oh my goodness. Separating out entertainment and compartmentalizing different children so they don't interact with each other doesn't make sense to me. Yes, it does. Completely. I wish I could have watched these cartoons as a kid and felt like it was okay, but it's not okay. I think it's really unfortunate every time someone has to feel wrong for liking something. Liking something shouldn't be wholly positive. Should be wholly positive. See, that's the thing. No, it really shouldn't. I mean, some people like cutting themselves. Some people feel good cutting themselves. Does that make it a wholly positive thing? Like, does liking that make it wholly positive? Of course not. I mean, some people do crystal meth. Liking crystal meth should be wholly positive, right? No, it shouldn't. Neither should be pushing ideologies and gender nonsense onto children. What are you most excited about for the future of Steven Universe and for the future of LGBTQ? Whatever. Plus representation in G-rated media. It shouldn't be there. It really shouldn't be there. But, I'm done. has been edited for length and clarity. I hope to see. So let's get into this last. Let's get into the last answer, and I'm gonna wrap this video up. I hope to see much more of it. There are millions of things to be done and a million stories to be told. There are so many experiences that people that they've been discouraged from talking about that we should get to communicate to each other. And I just can't wait to see all of it in the next generation of this media. There's so much to do. It's staggering. The future of Steven Universe. There's a lot I still want to do and explore with these characters. I really can't wait for people to see the next set of episodes. I can't talk about the movie yet, but I can't wait until I can. It's been such a long journey working on this show, and I'm so grateful for it. Okay, so that's the end of this article. We're gonna go back up to Miss Sugar's picture right quick, so I can just as a closing out. So seriously, Miss Sugar, you're evil. You really are. You are a agent of chaos. And I really think that there is a special place in hell for you, because this is ridiculous. I'd never in a million years let my child watch your show, because what you aim to do is just cause confusion and circumvent the parents' roles. And you're not the first. You know, the government has been doing this for a very long time. I mean, they pushed fathers out a long while ago. I don't know your paternal and maternal situation. I don't know your childhood. I really don't know anything other than the fact that you created this piece of shit show. And honestly, because that girl I dated, man, she was off her rocker. Okay, I mean, and honestly, she was banging chicks too. As a guy, I really don't mind that too much, but you know, seeing how much like this type of crowd, these type of people who are broken, you know, honestly, it's not anger towards Miss Sugar by any stretch of the imagination. I feel like she's a broken person. And the problem with broken people is that they look to break other people. And you know what? You want to break your kids? Knock yourself out. But to go so far as to try to break other people's children? No. I can't be cool with that. The show is garbage. The creator is garbage. And honestly, anybody who feels otherwise is just a useful pawn, a useful idiot, or an agent of chaos themselves. Or they're just complete, like, if you're in the comments like, oh, how dare you say such things about Steven Universe? You don't know this show. Nah, I don't need to know this show, because it's a trash show. Like, I would see it, like, they were, like, you know what, because Benson would come on, and I'd see, like, commercials for this. I'm like, yo, that looks trash. But they created a big enough audience, and they got all these people buying into this, and they got children with this ideology. See, the cartoons I grew up on, the ideologies that they would push would be, hey, take care of each other, love each other, don't judge people. You know, like, there's a whole episode of Thundercats where they're like, look, man, I know the bad guys are the bad guys, but it's still up to us to be good to the bad guys. You know, that's what it was about. It was about building character, not sitting here and pushing agenda and pushing propaganda and pushing this gender nonsense. It's just wrong. It really is. And if you allow your children to watch this, then guess what? You're a terrible parent. And you, honestly, I'm going to call DYFUS on you. I'm joking, because I really don't care. They're your kids. But at the same time, you should really check this shit. All right? So, with that being said, if you like this video, toss it a like. If you dislike it, toss it a dislike. I really don't care at this point. Sub if you enjoy my fantastic voice. Share, because seriously, more parents need to know the insanity that these corporations are pushing onto your children. I mean, like, and this is coming from somebody who grew up with Disney, who grew up with these corporations kind of telling me what to do. But I had parents that guided me first, and this is nonsense, you know. Comment if you disagree. I mean, I'd appreciate it, you know. Like let's have at it in the comment section. I'm not concerned at all, because this is terrible. This is really, really bad. So, with that being said, thanks so much. Until the next video.